Amanda, it is so good to see you, girl.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Wonderful. You're just an extra
I,
dimension to this meeting today. I'm so glad you're here.
I know y'all had a great time at GRI.
We did. And why I'm so excited Amanda is here is she didn't go this year, but she went last year.
Yeah, but I'm curious as to what and all y'all discovered this year.
Well, they had a whole new team.
I figured they probably would.
Well, because the last year's GRI coordinator is now our registrar
Yeah,
general, or yeah, which is such a sweet, sweet thing. When Marcy became registrar general, I actually got happy. I was just like, yay, that's so perfect.
yeah. I think she's doing a great job.
That reminds me, in this small talk that we're doing, I send out a couple of communications over the last couple of months through district directors that were supposed to, of course, go to chapter regions with the request that they go down to be drilled down to the chapter registrars. Some of them, I even said, and any committee chair you've got that has anything to do with genealogy. And I've been hearing that not everybody's getting these. So one of them is I know that a lot of us might get the genealogy gems in a variety of ways, but I sent it out through the district directors. Did you guys, as registrars or as
Yeah,
regents?
I have been getting things.
Okay.
Um, Let me see.
The end of
I'm
April, I
trying to
also sent out the
remember.
new contest for the year early.
Yeah, I think I got all
Yeah.
that stuff as Regent, but I'm one of those that's going down to registrar,
Right?
so
Yeah, that's
I
what I was
get
like.
stuff that way too.
Well,
Hallelujah.
let me see. When in
I didn't
when
say
in
that.
April? Oh, okay. Okay.
Around the 27th, I think, Jennifer's when I was looking back today and I didn't really hear any kind of feedback, which is okay, but nobody had any questions about this year's contest.
Yes, I did get that. And
Okay,
yes,
great.
I didn't. I wasn't able to join y'all that day. I don't remember what was going on.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That was outside of any Zoom activity. That was just me trying to get kind of a preview to this year's contest so that, registrars can work on it during the summer instead of having to wait until fall forum like we've done in the past. And of course, why that was so important to me is because it takes a while for those applications to get verified.
Mm-hmm.
And this contest is based on how many applications are verified without pre-letters or AIRs. So that's why I
This
want to
is
make it
I,
ahead.
okay. So I got the letter about the Zoom meeting on the 27th of April,
Okay.
and then you also had in there the most common errors that was listed.
Wow, I was busy that day, wasn't I?
Yes, but I don't see the one that you were just saying regarding what the actual contest details were.
I thought that
Oh, maybe I didn't get that one. I
okay.
don't see it around those days. I just have a ton of emails that came in that same period of time.
And I get that way too, of course.
Did did that come to us through our district directors?
That's what I'm
Seems like
talking
that's
about.
how I got mine.
Okay, all right. Let me look and see if I'm okay. Then I'll look for that.
Hang on, I'm looking to see when I sent it. I thought I saw earlier today it was the 27th that I did send it out to the district directors, and that's why I'm asking if people are getting them. I did send a lot of emails on the 27th. My soul. Let's see.
Sometimes it happens.
It does. It's like it all catches up right then. You know.
I
Hmm.
don't see it in my stash, but
On
I
April
will reach out to
27th?
Carol because usually she'll forward on whatever
Well, and
she.
that's okay. There are some people that have said they hadn't heard anything about, here we go. I'm sorry, April 29th. April 29th. And it was simply called the Verified Applications Contest. And then like I said, just last week or so, two maybe, I sent out the genealogy gems. And why it was really important for me to send that out is that we're going through a transition, like you know, Renee. I mean, there's officers that are changing over in chapters.
Yes.
And my big concern on that was to make sure that anybody that was in a genealogy committee chair position, um, that was like leaving, if they still had a deep desire to want to do something in genealogy, that newsletter had a lot of good information on where they could continue to serve. And so that's why I was kind of curious too. Well, we're getting lots of people. Do you see that, Jennifer? We're loading up,
Yep,
which is
Hi,
13.
ladies.
which is amazing. Sounded like Kim. Was that Kim?
It is. I'll stay as long as I can, but I'm on grandma duty and he's asleep right now.
Okay. We still got him coming in. We never did set you up, Jennifer, as an assistant on the Zoom call, did we?
What?
We never set you up as an assistant on the Zoom call or as an alternate.
Oh,
So
I know.
you probably can't let participants in as they come in late, can you?
I'm having a hard time hearing you today. I'm gonna have to go put on my headphones. Is it just me? I'm turning my volume up.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the GRI. Hi, Kay. I know you can't probably hear me yet, but I see you. Melody, I don't think I said hi to you or Darlene. Hi, guys.
Hi, I'm just looking. They've changed my
Hello.
screen around. I can't find the mute button anymore.
I used
Alrighty
it.
then.
Now, for me, if I hover over my face, there's an option for a mute in that
Oh,
same.
there it is. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. I've been here all day. Thank you.
Well, we're hoping you're going to be here for at
Well,
least while the meeting's going.
yeah. Let me see if I
Uh,
can get rid of the light up there. There. That's a little better. Just blind everybody out. All right.
okay, so the GRI, the Genealogy Research Institute. Um, I'm sure that there's some of you that might have questions as far as what it's all about. There's some of you that have been but didn't go this year, which I'm so excited to have Amanda here because she could give us her point of view from her experiences last year. And then we've got, uh, other than, wait a minute, Pam Snyder is supposed to be in here. She must be having technical difficulties because she was in for a second. I don't see her. Pam is, I'm the only one that was there last year and this year. Amanda was there last year. Pam was there 2 years ago, did not go last year, but she was back again this year. And so it's going to be kind of interesting to just, here comes Pam, uh, see how it goes. Now, Meg is with us today, and so is Nancy Hochschild. And those two, it was their first year. So it's kind of nice to get this mix of, what was going on. I want to kind of give a preview to everything, and then I'm going to start drilling in and asking questions. But of course, this is an open forum discussion room anyway. So I'll tell you if we have to kind of shorten the topic because there's other things coming up, but you feel free to speak out when you feel like it. I do have Jennifer Dorn. Jennifer, wave. Jennifer is the vice chair of the Volunteer Genealogists Committee. She doesn't always get to join us for the meetings, but we talked about it, about over a week ago, and she said that she will run the chat session because there's times that it's impossible for me to try to see all of you guys and carry on a conversation and also run the chat. So I am very happy that Jennifer is here. Okay, so the GRI started on Sunday night. What was that, May 3rd? Um, Let me just pull up my calendar and see if,
Yep.
yeah, May 3rd. And it's typical for it to start on Sunday night before the actual Genealogical Research Institute with an open house. And there's nothing but just wonderful hors d'oeuvres. They really, Amanda, you missed out. This year, the hors d'oeuvres were a lot better.
They had shrimp.
We had lots of shrimp. Yeah. Um, and I mean, I'm sure that there's fancy hors d'oeuvres, but I've never complained about the hors d'oeuvres. This year, with the amount of shrimp they had, it was even better. What we got to do this year that I was so excited about, I couldn't believe it. They actually opened up the library for us to take our food in there and chit chat with people inside the library. Yeah. I mean, Amanda, last year when we went, I got to see Amanda's face and she's like, whoa. Yeah, they had us in a really small area. It was very dense and dark and tight. And it wasn't, but there's always construction going on in that building. Now, oh, Pam is with us. Pam, I'm so glad you're here. Now, 2 years ago, we were in the O'Brien room, and the O'Brien room is an open meeting room adjacent to the library. I mean, pretty much it's all one big room, but they've kept that as just a meeting room. Um, and 2 years ago, we were just in the O'Brien room, and she walked away. Bam. I want to think that there were tables in there, but I'm having a hard time getting a visual. Pam, 3 years ago, not the last time you went, when we had the reception in the O'Brien room, there weren't tables or anything around. There was just a few chairs, weren't there? I can't hear you, honey. You're muted.
Okay,
Which-
sorry. I've been sick.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
was just trying to unmute. There were no table. Well, there were a couple tables that you could like stand around, but
That's
it was
right.
mostly standing room only.
So this year was really a treat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great going in the library because you could kind of figure out where you wanted to go when you were going to do your research.
Not only that, I think it set the vibe. I liked it.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of what the reception is all about. Just, being able to interact with people that you've seen before. It's really laid back. There's nothing other than a lot of Chardonnay, Moscato. Is that what they also had, Meg?
He's muted
I
too.
think they had a red and a white. Oh, they had champagne.
I thought
No,
they had two whites.
Prosecco.
Yeah,
Prosecco.
Prosecco. Okay. I don't remember them having a red. Did they have a red? No, they did
No,
not.
I
They
thought they
had,
did.
because I drink red wine and
Oh, you didn't have
don't
any?
put orange.
Okay.
So I was really surprised, but I found out white wine's not all that bad. So, so anyway, the other nice thing that happens on Sunday night is you get your swag. And last year we got these amazing, Amanda, remember those? Huge. Oh, maybe she's going to show hers. Yeah, that's what we got this year, Meg. But Amanda's holding up what we got last year. It is one of the largest tote bags I think I've
Oh,
ever had. Now, I don't remember, Pam, what we got 2 years ago. Do you?
Yes, I think we got a blue bag that was just okay.
So they really pumped up the volume, but you guys may have seen Meg was holding hers up, and it is a cushioned portfolio. I mean, it is a nice hot pink portfolio with pink paper and came with a pink jeweled pen. Yeah. That actually wrote. Um, so that was I don't know which one I liked better over last year or this year. And in some ways, that giant tote bag was almost too big because I filled it, here comes Laura. So we got to do that on Sunday night. And then the way that the conference is scheduled is pretty much just 2.5 days. And if Nancy or Meg or Pam, if you guys do you have your schedule in front of you?
I
I don't have the time. They sent that email out. They didn't include it with the swag like they do. Okay, that's another thing. While these girls are looking for their schedule, all of the handouts for all of the sessions are given to everybody Sunday night. So you don't have to sit there and take up class time waiting for handouts to be passed out. The only handouts you're gonna get Sunday night. And I think we started at 8 o'clock, wasn't it?
8 or 8:30.
Was it 8:30?
Maybe you could be there like at 8 and it started at 8:30. I don't see I must have used my schedule way too many
Yes.
times.
And that's one thing. Last year they printed it out and put it in with all the other handouts. This year they did not. So I was always looking at mine electronically and I forgot to print it out. Nancy, do you have yours printed out?
Yeah, they started at 8:50 with the speaker, and before then was when you could grab like coffee or a breakfast snack or something.
Okay. And then what time did the last session get over? Does it say
3:15.
it started or got over? I think it started.
Got over at 3:15.
Really? I don't remember that being so early, but I think we were done by that time anyway. So just for those of you, and that's what we're doing this for, is for also, of course, we're recording this. Now, Nancy, didn't you say that you looked at the last year's GRI videos to see what it was about or not?
No, I just watched a couple of the previous Zoom meetings that I didn't get to before the last one.
I know that some people have actually watched the GRI videos that's on the
I
YouTube channel.
watched some of them.
And so I might be repeating a lot of this, but this is the reason we're doing this, is to kind of make this available so that if other people are interested for this next coming year, they'll have an idea of what they're walking into. So my schedule was such that I flew in on Saturday afternoon, gave myself Saturday afternoon and all day Sunday. To me, that was really nice. Now, last year, it worked out, it was impromptu, but it worked out really good because wasn't there like 9 of us, Amanda? And
We had a pretty good crowd. I don't remember. Yeah, but it was fun. We had, like you say, 8 or 9 of us.
so I think there was a couple that we ran into that we didn't know were from South Carolina there at the conference that didn't, you know, no- have dinner and everything together. But we went to Arlington on Sunday, and it was nice to have that whole day and then know that at Sunday night we had to be back at the DAR building for the reception, or the open house.
Yeah.
So
That was
anyway,
nice.
the days were the 2 days, conference and breakouts on the first day and the second day, and then just a main speaker on Wednesday morning. But I stayed until Saturday again, and that gave me a couple of more days to do what I wanted to do. Like last year, I went to the National Archives, I went to the Library of Congress. This year, I went back to the DAR library. One day, I stayed in my room and just studied. Meg was holding up a book. It's called Research Like a Pro. And one of our master speakers wrote this book and several others. And I got to spend some time with it by taking yeah, what's her name? Diane
Elder.
Elder.
Yeah.
I got to spend some time to actually sit in the hotel room, not being interrupted, and really get some research done. So that's just what I decided I wanted to do. Some of the other things that were available to us for the GRI is that the DAR library closes at 4 o'clock every day. And I was actually in the DAR library when the librarian loudly said, if you are not here for the conference, you need to leave on Tuesday night. And they left the library open for us until 7 o'clock. So that's kind of a nicety because this year I think they had more outside DAR traffic than I've seen before. I think there's just more people starting to get around. I hate to say it, after the pandemic, we're what, 5 years after it, and people are just now starting to, push all that aside more. But it was a difference when the non-GRI people had to leave the library. We had the whole place to ourselves, and you could feel it. The other thing that they had was, and it cost, but you had to sign up for it at the time of registration, but was the tea around town on Monday night. Did any of you guys go to that? Meg, would you tell us about it? I did not go. What was that like?
So they had two double-decker buses. You couldn't sit on the first floor. You only could sit on the second floor up above. And the buses were pink cherry blossoms. And at your table, there was a tier cookie tray that had sweet and savory to go with your tea. And you got a tea mug, plastic mug that you got to take home with you, but they would come around and fill it with different, not fill it, but put in some tea, different flavor teas to try as you toured DC. And you had a tour guide, but when she wasn't talking, she was singing to us. So that was kind of fun. And the we got a delay start because I don't know if you all knew at that moment there was a shooting at the White House.
I didn't even hear about that.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
we heard
I did hear
all the
about it.
police started sirens going off, and I'm like, and I'm from DC. I'm like, oh, this is not good. And so then when we actually got to go, we drove right by where the guy was shooting his gun. The
Mm.
cops are still there, and the streets are still roped off. But moments after he did this, the vice presidents um, drove by. So if he waited, he could have shot at that, the motorcade if he wanted to, but he didn't know that. Anyway, so there was that shooting right, and we had to drive right by it. But it was kind of fun to, for them to take us around town and show us different things and try these different teas. And, chance to get to know some people that you might not have known before.
That's what's nice if you go back next year to be able to run into them like during the reception time, really.
There were 11 of us from South Carolina. There were 30 from Texas. There came as far as California and Maine and Florida. So it was very interesting. And you saw our picture on in the newsletter that we just got, the magazine, well, from the President General. Did you see our picture? Because
I
you
did
can
not.
pick us all out.
I have to go look.
You
Thank you
have to
for
go
saying
look.
something.
I
Yeah,
can see me, I can see Pam and some other people.
I'm very cool.
Yeah,
I appreciate that you saying something. The other thing that there was the tour of the House Beautiful.
yes.
I went on that. Did you go on that, Meg?
Yes, I thought that was
I
fabulous.
did too.
Pam did. Nancy, did you?
Yeah, I did.
You kind of feel funny about giving up one of those precious breakout session times to go on a tour of the House Beautiful. Amanda, did you go on it last year?
I did.
So this is my third GRI, and this is the first time I finally decided I'm going to invest in Susan for a second and then get to enjoy this sneak peek at the back of the house. I was blown away about how many other rooms there were that I'd never seen before. I always wondered where do the genealogists hang out. I got to
Right.
peek in on their cubicles.
Well, the guy who led the tour, he's been with the DAR for 43 years, I believe. He
46.
said.
Mm-hmm.
And it started off as a doorman. Now he's head of security. And he said, this isn't my house. This is your house. And you should know what's behind that door. And I'm going to show you from rooftop to basement. I'm going to show you everything. He couldn't have been nicer. And he did a thorough job of showing us the whole building.
Larry is great. I have met Larry a few times and he's always made me feel like I joined the right organization. He's fantastic. He made me cry. I was there for open house in April and I started to get all misty because I saw Larry again because he was one of the first people I met when I went up there and made me feel like this is perfect. He's fantastic. When he retires, they're gonna have a hard time finding someone new.
I thought it was interesting that when I went to the library to research that one, I was there for a full day researching. Larry was nowhere to be found. I was like, yeah,
Ah,
we think that he's part of the fixtures, that he's there all the time. I can understand on a regular day where there's not a whole lot going on that he doesn't have to have a presence, but it made me wonder, Laura, if he doesn't have a large PR presence at this point, and I think he handles it well if he does.
Yeah, he does. And the folks coming in with him or that he's training are are very much like him. You can see he's rubbing off. But yeah, he's great. I'm gonna be sad whenever he decides. He says he drives like an hour and a half to get to work
Wow.
every day.
Oh,
He
wow.
says that he's going to retire all the time.
Yeah, I've heard
Oh,
that
wow.
story. I'll be
Yeah.
sad when it happens. I'm sure there'll be a big announcement.
But Meg said that, he said, this is your house, you need to be able to see it. And he really meant that. You could tell by a lot of just his mannerisms. This is your
Mhm.
place, guys. You know,
Yeah. And he told me that he says we take really good care of him and he feels like, it's reciprocated. So He says he takes really good care. We take really good care of him. So that's nice to hear.
The other nice thing that they throw in that I wasn't expecting until you go the first time is catered lunch. So for 3 days on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and they were good, weren't they, Meg? Yeah.
That they were
It felt
really
like there was a
good.
little, what,
They,
Meg?
I think that that whole thing was so well organized to the details. Yeah, the lunches were excellent for box lunches. But there was a lot of attention to detail throughout the whole thing.
There was a little bit more food, Amanda, than what we got last year, I felt
Oh,
like.
wow. Good.
Yeah, because what we got last year was sufficient, but not, I mean, we could add more, and we got that this year.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
So lots of people must have made that same suggestion.
maybe. I didn't think I was fine. I'm like, I don't need to
I
eat that
was
much.
too, but
Yeah, but there was just it was noticeably more stuff in the lunches.
With them adding in the shrimp, that made it so that it could be your dinner with everything else. You didn't have to go out and get dinner that night if you didn't
Right.
want to.
You mean on the opening or the reception on Sunday? Is that what you're talking about?
Right.
Yeah, so, and then we did get early out where we could go to the research at the library, or a lot of us, myself, was like brain dead. So the schedule was we would go in there first thing, there would be opening remarks, and then there's a master session, is what they call it, so they have master speakers. And we had two, the lady that wrote the book Research Like a Pro, Diana Elder. She was amazing. And then there was I also Michael and Henderson, and we'll get into more depths about them later. But there was three master sessions, one for each of the days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and they were a couple hours more, yeah, with a break in the middle. Then we would go to our first session, breakout session. We'd come back and have lunch. When I say back, if you've ever been to the DAR complex, we actually, and I don't know what else they would do. I don't like the acoustics at all. But what they do is they set up tables outside the foyer of the hall. So that big area outside the actual, Continental Hall is where we have lunch, and the acoustics are terrible. But I don't know where else they would put us. So I've heard that there was between 140 and 160 of us there. Um, so where are you going to put that many people to have lunch? That's a good place to do it. So we'd go back there for lunch, and then there were two more breakout sessions, and then we would come back to the hall for closing remarks. And that was our schedule for those 2 days. On Monday, we just had a master session, and then we had lunch, and then we were done. I thought it was interesting. I crunched some stats because I like looking at numbers and stuff, but there was in regards to the breakout sessions, we had 3 a day as far as time allowance for our own schedule. So that meant we could go to 6 breakout sessions total while we were there. There were 9 presentations that we could select from. And those presentations were either offered once, twice, or 3 times each during those 2 days. And that was a total of 21 offerings. They doubled and tripled up so many times that they made 21 offerings of 9 presentations, which we got to select 6 of. Does that make sense? And so, and you don't have to go. Honestly, I only went to 4 sessions because I would disappear into the library. One time I disappeared into the museum. I'm like, I'm on vacation. I can go if I want to. And I didn't feel bad about that. So, with all of that in mind, it's a packed schedule. You are living there at the DAR complex for those 2.5 days. Um, Then we would have evenings off for dinners, either with the group or last year, I think we were a little bit more coordinated without trying to be Amanda because we always kind of had dinners together. I think that we had more sessions. Like I remember one night there was 4 of us, and another night there was another 4 of us. What about you guys? Is that what you sort of saw, Nancy and PM and Meg?
Yeah, I don't remember. We ate at the hotel Monday night, but I don't really remember who all was there. I know Pam was there, Meg.
Barbara was there, wasn't she?
Yes.
And Beth.
Okay, yes,
Yes.
Maybe we all made it there, but then maybe it was the next night.
I think it
Yeah.
was the next night.
And I don't know where you guys went.
Tuesday night, Debbie, Susan, and
Mari.
Mari and I went to that restaurant.
The food was okay, but was terrible as far as I thought that the hall was a bad place for us to have lunch. That restaurant's acoustics, we couldn't
It
even
was
hear.
very loud.
Yeah,
It was hard to talk.
it really was.
What restaurant was that?
I could find out, but I didn't write it down right now. And I don't mind sharing it. Was that you, Amanda, that asked?
Yeah, I was just wondering what restaurant you were talking about.
Let me see if it's on.
It would be in a text.
Oh, well, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, we all ate as a big group on that Tuesday night, I think, if I remember correctly, at the restaurant in the hotel.
Was there just one night that we ate with all of us? So maybe it was very similar this
Well,
year.
we ate other places, but I just remember the one night in the hotel, when there was a whole bunch of us. I
And it
think
was
that was
this,
Tuesday, because Colleen and I had gone on the rainy, pouring down tour bus the night before on Monday night, where you basically couldn't see out the window. They were so fogged, the tour buses were so fogged up, and yeah, that was sort of a bust. And I don't think either one of us had much more than a sandwich in our hotel room before we met to get on that bus.
I do remember Barbara and I were roommates, and you keep finding leftovers coming home with you. And there's a full refrigerator and a full kitchen at the State Plaza, which is where we usually go. And so it makes sense to eat your leftovers, but
Hmm.
then you're not going out with the girls again, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that made sense too.
Well,
Um,
we had Saturday that we ate, what, four or five of us who all went on Saturday.
when we went to the
And there was
Western
a
Market,
handful of us on Sunday, ate together.
yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed the camaraderie tremendously, each of the GRIs, more than I ever thought I would. And so for those of you that have not been, know that you're going to get an opportunity to embrace that, and it's priceless. It's wonderful. So going on to what we actually did, um, there's so much, it's going to be kind of hard to cover it all really quick. And I didn't ask you guys which sessions that you went to because Maury was going to be joining us and Debbie was going to try to join us. So I didn't really know who we were going to have. Um, Going down the list, though, one of the breakout sessions, I put them in alphabetical order because they were so sporadically spread out for the schedule. A Tale of Two Franciscos, evaluating primary sources. Did anybody go to that one?
I did.
What would be your
I did
one,
too.
okay, what would be your one takeaway that you can use, and going forward as being a registrar that you got out of that class? That
I
break.
don't even remember it, truthfully.
Was it
I will
Megan,
get
or I
back to you
mean,
in a second. I was going to look to see if I took any notes on that.
Pam, did you say that you went to that one also?
I did, and I can't remember really that much about that one either. And I don't see a handout.
We
Okay, now
must not have had a handout.
and that is one thing that I was kind of, it happens every year, but they don't
It
have
was
handouts for everything.
it was okay. That wasn't one of my favorite sessions.
Okay, and that's fair. I mean, you got six of them, they're not all going to be. And the big difference is that the breakout sessions are given to us by DAR employees or long-term volunteers that have been doing applications for typically decades, more than one. They've been working at the national level and they've worked their way around committees and all that. So they are our sister experts. Now, the breakout or the master series are hired professionals that come in and give us top-notch, wonderful presentations. The reason I'm saying it that way is that sometimes in the breakout session, you hit gold and other times you get what she can bring you, and I don't think that that's unusual even when you get to a larger conference, except for I think that there's a larger pool to pick from at
Yeah.
the. And by the way, Susan Dobbs and Barbara Jers are not with us today because they are on their way to the National Genealogical Society conference. So it's a
Oh,
bucket
fun.
list for me, Amanda. We got to go sometime, girl.
Yeah.
Um,
If you've never been to an NGS conference, you need to go.
I have not.
Okay. I've been twice. They're
I've
wonderful.
been to I've been to Roots Tech in life 3 times. Like when they were first early. But living on the western side of the country, Roots Tech was a lot easier. It's like as going to the National Geological Society conference here is like going when I was living in Washington to Roots Tech. So, and Roots
Su-
Tech was mind-boggling.
Susan is supposed to let us know where the next one's going to be held because they announce it during this session.
Okay, good. Okay, so researching genealogies for newspapers. Did anybody attend that one?
Yes.
You sound a little bit more excited, Nancy. What did you get out
Yeah,
of that one?
she was excellent. She did a really good job. Her name is Carrie Weiss, I think, Weiss. And she was a very good speaker, and I thought that was interesting.
You've done research in newspapers before. What was your aha moment?
I'll have to look at my notes. I just remember thinking she was one of the ones I really liked. Partly because she was such a good speaker.
And she had some good, I mean, I did not go to that session, but I've got good notes here that she, 4 pages of handout.
Her handout was really, really good. It was very, very well organized and detailed. And then on the last 2 pages, there are all kinds of websites and free and paid sites for newspapers.
That's
Yeah.
valuable.
I don't know that I didn't really take a lot of notes. I have a couple things. I guess just reiteration of things we knew, but because she was such a good speaker, it was interesting to listen to.
And sometimes, just hearing the stories of success that these girls have experienced through what they've done, you just
Mhm.
inertly learn, oh, I got to try that. I got to remember newspapers are important. Or like you brought up, Pam, I'm going to be doing Pennsylvania research. I think there was a link here in this handout on Pennsylvania newspapers, sort of thing. Did anybody go to the Tailoring the Family Tree Maker? There was only one presentation of that, but that was a vendor. Meg, were they vending their?
Yes, but it was very good because I used to have Family Tree Maker and I've been with Ancestry forever. But after their presentation, I signed back up with Family Tree Maker because of what they said. They're two different things. Ancestry is online. Family Tree Maker is like a database that you buy. And so you're not researching, you're saving your tree there. And but I thought someday I'm not going to want Ancestry and then my tree will disappear. Whereas Family Tree Maker, I'll have it forever to hand down to the next generation or whoever wants it when I don't want it. So I could, for a while, I'm going to have both, but Family Tree Maker is a one-time buy, whereas Ancestry is a monthly thing. I don't know, it's hard to figure out, but I felt like I needed to have Family Tree Maker back in my life after hearing them. And they said they would come to your chapter and give a presentation. So I thought that was a good thing.
There
Oh,
are a
wow,
lot of
that would be neat.
Get a couple chapters together, do a district or something, but they said they would come.
there
Do
are
you have a contact name or something for them? Information on that? Since I didn't
Somewhere
go
I
this
do.
year, I don't have that.
there are several I use Legacy is the computer-based where my important trees are. Because I agree with you, Meg. I mean, I'm like, I cannot guarantee that Ancestry is always going to be around,
But also there's a connection between Ancestry and Family Tree Maker.
Yes,
They're working together. So you can, if you wanted to, you could easily download your tree from Ancestry to Family Tree Maker. They work together.
Oh,
But I backed mine up onto a thumb drive just in case. Because
Yeah.
what if they break up?
Right.
Yeah.
You never know what's around the corner.
That's right. I've used Family Tree Maker forever. My mother-in-law started with them in the late 80s on her Tandy computer.
I love it.
Yeah, y'all remember those? And her dot matrix printer. And when I got my first computer, I loaded Family Tree Maker. And that I do have ancestry files and trees, but I don't sync my information from my database to Ancestry. I use my ancestry trees as research trees.
Right.
But that is one good thing. If you have just started an ancestry, you can sync it to your Family Tree Maker. Its database saves on your hard drive. And then if you want to stop your ancestry, you've got it.
Right.
You've got all that information that you spent all that time on. But I was going to say, my mother-in-law, I have all of her files. So she had Family Tree Maker, and then all I had to do was copy her backup files
Oh, wow.
and her media files. So I can open up her tree within Family Tree Maker. And then my son-in-law's, his dad also used Family Tree Maker, and I have a copy of that too. And so I have all of his research and I have all of my in-laws' research along with my own research. And you just go in, it's just like another database. Like, say, you just open that particular database. That's what you want to look at.
Well, it sounds
They
like
don't
this could be
merge,
a
they
great,
don't combine. Do what?
it sounds like this topic could be a great separate meeting. I see a lot of
Yes,
excitement about
yes.
it.
No,
And I'm very much I love hearing your stories, Amanda, because that's more than I've ever been able to experience. But I do better research when I'm focused on my laptop's, you know,
hmm
tree. Because there's so many hits that keep rolling in on Ancestry, it could be a little
It
bit
gets
harder to look at.
overwhelming.
It can.
It does
Whenever
get
it
overwhelming.
breaks it down. But let's go on to talking about the GRI. But I like what you guys are sharing, and I think that that is important. I'd like for other people to hear about that. Making myself. Do you want to make a note, Jennifer?
Sure.
Thank. Um, Now I did the how traditional naming patterns reveal hidden family. Did anybody else go to that session? Did you, Pam?
Yep.
Sorry, yes.
Right.
I
Did
thought
you?
that session was really, really good too.
I didn't take that many notes, kind of like you're talking about, Nancy.
I didn't either, but I have my
She
handout,
was
which was really detailed.
Yes, and okay, I wrote myself a note. Make a public apology and tell the story about Jennifer and the analysis we were working on. Do you remember that, Jennifer? And we were talking about the naming pattern of it was a husband and wife, and then his wife died, and then the first baby born of his second wife was named after his first wife, and we were like, early, but um,
Yeah.
and Jennifer is like it. Was it just an analysis or was it answering an AIR? I think it was just an analysis.
It was an analysis.
And she's like, it's got to be because the naming pattern. And I'm like, and I owe you an apology, Jennifer, because here they had this whole presentation by a veteran DAR. Um, it's like we can't just throw it out there that this is, of course, the right family because the naming pattern. You've got to go find some more. I don't know that it was all wrong because in this presentation, they did say think of naming patterns as clues. They are not the.
right.
But when Jennifer got done writing the analysis, she still put it in there as far as the naming pattern, and it killed it. I mean, it was just perfect.
It wrapped it up, is
It
what it was.
did. And to see that I have handouts now that you could have written for me. There is something substantial to naming patterns, but of course there were no laws and there was no paperwork to substantiate that this had to happen. It was all cultural. But it is enough for us to make us look at it like
Right.
Jennifer
I
did.
thought it was super interesting. I'd never heard that before. And she was an excellent speaker also.
She was. Um, the one that I thought was a little disappointing. So many times um, I'm asked, well, you've gone to the GRI. How come you can't just ask these people to give you an answer? And we don't really get into a lot of nuts and bolts on how the DAR verifies, evaluates things. I wish there was more of that. But when I went to a session that said tips for avoiding an AIR, I was all excited. Okay, they're going to start talking about their deep secrets now, and we need to know this. And the
Did they?
handout, no, not really. The handout was called Proving a Female Line. Yeah, right, Amanda? I see Amanda's head whack up like what? Um, what I got from I did get a lot out of this presentation, but I was a little heartbroken because I really wanted more on how to avoid an AIR. What they
Mhm.
focused on, so that makes me think it's actually a big problem, is the female lineage links.
Hmm.
Now, that's different than how to avoid an AIR.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But that also, it was after I was kind of massaging my notes, getting ready for this meeting right now, and I was like, oh, that's what they're saying, is that they've already got this mindset. If we're looking at jumping into a female lineage link, and you guys know what I mean, anytime you bring the mother into the equation, or a daughter, I mean, you got that female in there, you've got to be able to prove it. My big, huge takeaways is do not make any assumptions, never, when it comes to a female. So they gave a few scenarios in this handout, and they were really not that bad as far as I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get the picture here. This is real important. Um, so they gave a couple of scenarios. Let's say Bob Davis, my daddy's name is Bob. Bob Davis has a will and he lists his daughter, Susan Faulkner. You cannot assume that her husband's name is David. You see what I'm saying? You've got to be able to prove that Susan Faulkner is married to David Faulkner and that Susan Faulkner was Susan Davis. Now it's possible, but I think a lot of people are just kind of like, oh yeah, there it is. And they're saying, no, you haven't done it. It also really guarded against the using censuses to make the assumption that the wife of the head of house is the mother of the children.
True.
Now, we do have censuses that say how long the couple's been married. So you got a couple that's been married for 10 years and they got an 8-year-old in the house. Pretty good assumption. Now, that's their child. You got a couple that's been married for 10 years. They got a 12-year-old. Wait a minute. Now, remember, females died. They died a lot. We had a lot of females dying, and a lot of them dropped kids. And then there's another woman that comes along and she's raising somebody else's children. This was a common part of our culture. And they have been on this bandwagon. I remember the first time I heard it about 3 years ago. They were not as nice 3 years ago. They were drawn seriously. There was one presentation I went to, and she's like, "We're drawing a line in the sand," and I'm like, "Wait, we're working for the same group here." They were starting to really calm down on needing more standards and restrictions. Looking at it now, I don't know what messes they were working with. But that's where a lot of our standards that we are dealing with now that have become so strict started. Well, they're still in this nightmarish state when it comes to proving females when you get back in time and the woman is suddenly no longer named. Don't make any assumptions. So that was the big thing on the AIR. Did anybody else go to that presentation?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Um, Using New England town records for service was delightful. Did anybody else go to that one? What, did you like that one, Nancy?
I didn't hear which one you said.
Using New England town records for service.
I think I fell
It was
asleep.
a little long, and she repeated a lot of the same stuff over and over and over and over.
Maybe she was tired. She probably gave 3 of those
She
presentations.
probably was, but that was probably one of my least favorite talks.
To me, it was an eye opener. You know, how important those town records are, to not forget them, and not to assume that Family Search has all the town records of all of the town records available, because there's lots of towns, you
Yeah.
know. And she did bring up Debbie Duaw's website as far as a good place, a good source. Amanda, what were you gonna say?
I have a member who had a um well, we were answering an error. And so in the process, we did find where he was the town clerk and he had stuff and he had all this information. It was all written into the town clerk record. This is New Hampshire. This is what makes me think that's maybe this area that they were addressing. And so there was already when she submitted the supplemental, she already had one part of a service record that she had submitted for his patriotic service. But we found this town information and she wanted to include that. And she did. She actually sent this out back before we were ready for her to do it, but she thought she was ready, so she sent it back. And we were like, okay, it went through, but the clerk, but the genie did not accept the town record and him being the clerk and what had been written as his service. That extra service she wanted, I guess, the civil service that she wanted to add on to it. And the
I
genie did not
see.
accept that. And I thought that was kind of interesting because he was the town clerk during that period of time. But so I wondered, was that kind of what they were addressing in this in that
No,
nothing?
they were just saying,
Okay,
here's what they were doing is they actually opened my eyes to the ideas of, um, and I don't have a handout, but Susan, there was no handout for this, which was sad.
Mm-mm.
Susan Dobbs did tell me that she got somebody to get all of the presentation slides, and there was some good information on that, as far as here's a list of all of the different positions that you can find in town records. That's kind of cool, that qualify. And I don't know if clerk was on there or not. I think I've got pictures of it too. And
and that could be. We were just there were other records that we were submitting with that were verification of the family and this sort of stuff. Um, but I just remember it came back. They approved the Patriot. He's a new Patriot.
well, that's
They
good.
just did not accept that one aspect for
That
him.
is kind of, that's another thing that's so frustrating. I wish they would, I don't know how you would, but here we are trying to meet a mark, and yet we've got a variety of genies that
Right.
don't necessarily always agree with one another on what they think is acceptable and what's not. And
Yeah,
that's where it gets frustrating.
it does.
I mean, in general, they've got their standards, but there's always those little tendrils that go out, that they're allowed to disagree. And now Barbara Jers has often met with and interacted with the National Genies, but I have not. I mean, I guess if now, she's the lineage research chair though, too, and that's a whole different committee. She's trying to solve these new member applications, AIRs. That's one of the biggest tasks that the lineage research committee has.
Oh, okay.
So, the Volunteer Genealogists Committee, we're here to help with supplemental AIRs, but that's with the understanding that people that are doing supplementals already understand a little bit more about the DAR, and we're not trying to get you in as far as a new member. You know, we're also here to try to help registrars. Um, I'm not saying I wouldn't interact with them, but I don't want to fight with a genie. And that's what a lot of people do. And I don't think that that's a very wise thing. I don't know that Barbara does. I'm not even hinting that, but why you would want to go into a debate with one of the genies when, like you're talking about, Amanda, it doesn't make any sense that the town clerk wants
Right.
to
Didn't
accept
make
it.
any sense. I was just glad that they approved the Patriot because
Right.
honestly, Colleen and I had found a couple more bits of information that we wanted to add to make the case a little more solid. And the member just, I guess she just thought, okay, I'm afraid if I don't hurry up and get it done, I'll not meet the deadline. And so she just sent it off. And I was like, okay,
There's more.
it'll either come back or not. It's going to come back something one way or the other. And I thought, well, if it doesn't, we'll resubmit the whole thing again with all the new information that Colleen and I had found trying to help her. And but the genie took it, and actually the genie had discovered a lot of stuff themselves. So I've looked at the what came back, and yeah, the genie found a lot of information. So the genie did a lot of work on this guy also.
I kind of like it when they do that. I
It's
hate
kind of neat.
to, but um, what about your paper goes to Washington? I wanted to make that one, and I did not make that breakout session.
I
What
went
is
to
it?
that.
What was that all about, Nancy?
Just the process. You all probably already know it, but just hearing it and how it goes through the review process and they scan it in and just the steps that when you submit an application or a supplemental, what goes on. I thought it was interesting. And the couple different people from the different steps talked. I mean, it was basic knowledge,
I
but it
wish
was
I
it
would
was
have.
interesting.
It sounds like it because now pre-letters are coming from a different place than AIRs, correct? I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So did they explain all that process? First it goes to the administrative check, which creates the pre-letters, is what I've always
I don't
assumed.
know. That was 3 weeks ago. I have no idea.
And there wasn't a handout on that one either. And that's the one that I would really
No,
like.
I do not think there was. I can picture them talking,
I have
I
all
wish
my
but I'm
handouts
not.
right here, and I would make that suggestion. I think every session, every person that speaks ought to have a handout to
I
hand out to us.
agree because you
Right.
remember it more if you have something to look at. Because I can remember what they looked at, but I don't know what they said.
And you did get caught up listening to them to where a couple of the sessions I took a lot of pictures of their slides or overheads, you know. But then you're so distracted, you want to hear what they have to say, you know.
Oh, I do have some notes. I thought was interesting. People were talking about that a lot of times when they get people's applications, they've gotten wet.
What is this?
And they suggested putting it in a Ziploc bag before you put it in your envelope.
Did they say where they're getting wet?
They implied that it was like at the post office or when the mailman's delivering it to them if it gets wet.
I know, Barbara.
I
Barbara,
had never heard that before.
it's a thing. And it bothers me because I wonder if it's their own, you know, how many, seriously, you guys, we get things in the mail. You know, how many wet items do you receive?
I
Right?
don't know that I would implement it, but they have had it happen because they made it sound like when it was all smudged, they couldn't scan it in and they had to send it back.
Okay, Barbara, tell me your story. She had a wet.
I sent my daughter's application in, and it was perfectly fine when it left here. And I got this sweet little AIR, a pre-letter, really, yeah, saying that it was blurred, the first page, which
That
was
it was
her
what?
signature, and all
Blurred.
that, and they couldn't read it.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, well, somebody must have spilled their water or their coffee that morning when they opened my package. That was the only page out of all the application in that envelope. That was the only thing that was messed up was that front page.
Of course, because then you had to get new signatures and blah, blah,
Yes,
blah.
yes.
So
So
Of course.
we did it.
I
these are
started
what I
buying
do.
plastic sleeves, the
This
Ziploc
is
that
what
I order from Amazon.
I use these. These cost like $1.10 if you buy them.
What is that?
It's called a rigid mailer, and it's large enough that you can put.
The 8x14 in. Yeah.
Here's legal size paper up against it. Fits just very comfortably. You know, it's large enough you can put several of them in there at the same time. Now I bought them in bulk.
Is it protected, Susan? Inside?
It's supposed to be waterproof. It's not necessarily protected inside, but just a material. It's called a Jiffy Rigi, R-I-G-I, bag mailer. It's 100% recycled paper, recyclable with mixed paper, naturally better. It keeps it, they say it's waterproof. I think you could probably get, if you threw a lot of water on it, you might be able to soak it.
And it was called a
Right.
Rigi, R-I-G-I.
All right, Jiffy Rigi, R-I-G-I, bag mailer.
Okay.
In
Have
fact,
you
I've never
tried
seen this
one,
before.
Susan?
Jiffymailers.com is
Have
right
you
on.
tried one to wet it and see what it would do?
No, Jennifer, it's R-I-G-I. It's not
Okay.
R-I-D-I.
jiffymailer.com.
Yeah.
Well, I started putting mine in a plastic bag like this that I ordered off Amazon, and then putting them into the mailer you can get from the post office.
You
I
think
started
that
that
would
in
work?
January.
That should work.
Oh, they did. Well, they haven't come back and saying there's a problem.
Now,
But you
does
know, on the dock, there was quite a bit of discussion all through the fall about wet applications. And so I was like, okay, it was like $20 for 100 of these things.
so
Is that a 2-gallon one?
No, actually it was they're a little bit big, but I wanted one that the legal size
right?
would be able to zip easy. So I think I got like a 15 by 12, something like that.
Okay.
You just go on Amazon and they've got all different sizes. And so usually the application will fit end to end good, and I can zip it, and then I do have to bend this part over to get into the mailer. But I put 4 or 5 applications in there at one time if I can. You know, just how many ever what I can slam in there.
Then did you put it in a flat rate from the post
Yeah.
office?
Yes, the legal size.
Okay. That's what I always used.
Yeah. So,
That was my next question. So you all use a legal size flat rate?
Mhm.
yes.
I did
I did.
previously. Now the current registrar that I'm fixing to replace, she was like, "Oh, I just put it in a manila, just that plain little manila envelope and mail it, and I've never had a problem." And I thought, I'm not going to take that chance. I didn't in the past because I could see that easily having water damage when it's just that little paper,
Right.
And that's
So-
all I've ever used.
Yeah, this is what
So
I'm
see,
using.
that,
I mean,
yes, yes.
I mean, there
That's
are
what I always
dollars,
used.
but if I put 5 or 6, especially slim ones like granddaughters or daughters, there's not much to
Yeah.
them. I can put a good 3 that have got lots of documentation in
Yeah.
one. So
So I had a lady at our, I've shared this before. It doesn't work for everybody, but I have gotten, it works for me every time. At our post office, one of the clerks there that was, helping me at the post office, she's like, "Oh, so you're sending this to a library?" And I'm like, "Sure." And she goes, "So you could get library mail." I'm like, "Cool." And so now I've learned to ask for library mail. Library mail costs $4.77, and you get tracking with it. No signature, which is what we want because the DAR won't sign for it.
right.
And my post office won't recognize that.
Yeah, I know, Barbara. I was thinking about that. You tried it. Yeah.
Oh,
And it's funny because the last time I did this, her supervisor is who helped me. And he goes, "That's impossible." I was like, "It's on the next screen." He goes, "Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you."
But if you're doing the library mail, then you need to use the envelope like you were showing.
Probably.
so yeah.
That Jiffy.
What are you guys paying? How much do you,
I don't know what they've gone to now.
Too
Amanda?
much.
$10 or $11.
This
Yeah.
is 11. It's 11 with as full as I can get it.
Yeah.
I've heard worse.
I have too. Yeah.
But that's out of my pocket. I don't charge my applicant.
Same here. Yeah.
We do charge
We do.
our applicants a set fee for all the ink, the mailing, that kind of, paper costs, just reimbursement costs.
What do you charge them out of curiosity?
We for an applicant, a new
Mhm.
applicant, we charge them $25.
Okay.
For a supplemental, we don't, unless we do all the work. If we do all of the research on that person, then yes, we're going to charge. But if they're the ones, we'll send them that. I'll print off the application form, just those 4 pages. But if they're going to do all the research pages and get them all set and that kind of thing, then I don't.
Okay.
And if it's
Well,
a
yeah,
real
that makes
simple
sense.
one, I don't. Like a granddaughter or a daughter or something like that.
Mhm.
I don't charge that extra 25 for that because I think we've already made enough money from somebody else to cover and if I can combine it with somebody else's, then the mailing cost is less, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, the only other session then that we haven't talked about was the specialty research, Spanish research. Did anybody go to that breakout session? No, I didn't. And the notes were very light, the handout on that. So then the only other thing we have left to really talk about as far as the GRI were the master sessions. And we had one gentleman by the name of Michael N. Henderson, and he pretty much just told us his story. Don't you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
I was
It
pretty
was
scared.
interesting,
It
but
was,
didn't
I was
really
pretty,
help us do any work, but it was good.
yeah, I was pretty skeptical at first because I'm like, why is he up here talking? But then the more he talked, I really got into his story and it was really, really interesting.
it was. And I think it was actually probably a really cool way to launch the GRI.
Yeah.
For those of you that weren't with us, his story was that he's an African American, grew up, I'm not going to get into the whole story of it, but he was allowed to go to like a private school and he didn't understand what the price was that his parents had to pay, um, not just financially, but where you stand in society and, all that good stuff.
It was the beginning of immigrants. Segregation. He went to an all-black school, and now he shows up at a school, and within 10 minutes, he's in the principal's office because he hit someone in the nose for calling him the N-word.
Yeah.
So he had to go home and tell his parents, I'm sorry, but in the first 10 minutes of that school, this happened. Why didn't you prepare me for this? Because he had no idea
And so
and
then,
it was a Catholic school.
yes, that's right. And so he goes on, it's 2 hours of him telling us about starting there, Meg. And
But
then,
he didn't know, his mother didn't know her mother. She died when she was 6 years old. And so there was no family genealogy. And he went to college, he became a naval officer. And on a ship, one of the other officers, somebody mailed him the family genealogy scrapbook. And he's going through it. And this guy's like, what is that? And how did you do that? And this guy got interested. He did all this research. He went so far back, he had pages of a book that got burned in a library. But these 2 pages that only were burned on the edges, one had the governor of Louisiana signing off on this document, and on the other side was his ancestor, the slave who bought her own freedom. Why would the governor of Louisiana sign off on that? That was a whole story in its own. And in the end, PBS did a story on his slave ancestor. There's a museum show about her. Then his family's like, well, if we're on PBS, I guess it's a good story after all. Thanks for doing all that hard research. But and he said, and now I qualified for the DAR. Oh, wait a minute, I'm a guy. I can't join you ladies. But because of what this slave's partner did for the governor, which is why he agreed to sign off on this, was during the Revolutionary War. And he found out he had 2 patriots, so he joined the SAR. I just told in a few minutes, right? He took 2.5 hours to tell this
I was gonna
story.
say, Meg, you did really good. I was like,
And he wrote a
wow.
book about it. Well, I thought I have told the story because I thought it was very interesting. I was like Pam in the beginning, like, why? But then I got sucked into his story, but it was too long. But it was a very good story. That
I don't
book
remember any of the
burned all the
details
way
until you've
down.
been saying them. I'm
He
like,
never
yeah,
would have had
yeah.
that. Yeah.
It was, and so that was interesting, but I felt like it was more just entertaining. We
Don't
didn't
give
really,
up. Don't give up. And he
yeah,
persevered.
yes, and that was kind of cool. And then we had two very long sessions. I thought her sessions were really long too. That's just part of the scheduling of it. But by Diane why do I always think
Diana
Elder.
Elder?
Elder. Yeah.
Elder.
Elder, yeah.
What'd you think of her?
I thought she was really good the first day. On Wednesday morning when she went into all the AI, that was a little much. But
What was it?
overall, she was very good.
I thought it was very interesting. I thought what my takeaway was, you better do your homework. You can't skip steps. She was very methodical.
Right.
How many times have you found something, but you didn't write down where you found it? And then you spend hours, oh, where did I see that? I have to go back and find out, where did I read that? When was that? Oh my God, I waste so much time taking shortcuts.
And the one thing I got as far as a takeaway from what she had to say on AI, and it is something that really resonates in me, is that I've heard that AI hallucinates before, and I'm like, well, let's just try to figure it out yet. But no, like she said, AI wants to please you. I was like, oh, that was the light bulb. It's like it wants to give you the answer that it thinks that you want.
Yeah.
And so you must always go back and check whatever you. Now, it can give you some really good leads, is the way I look at it. And I've gotten some really nice leads out of it. And I've experienced some hallucinations too. And I've been so frustrated because I want to believe it, you know.
I've done that. I put in, tell me who this guy's parents are, and then it'll tell me like, those are not his parents. These are their parents. Oh, thanks, Meg. Now, based on that, we can go here instead of there. And like, so it's right. It helps you when you reach a brick wall. It gives you options, and then I'll say, how do you know that? What's your proof? And so it'll tell me where it's finding this information. Well, I found it on a family tree. Oh, I found it in a book. I found it in the county court. These are the steps you should take, Meg, to go prove it. So it gives me, when I can't figure it out, it gives me, oh yeah, I forgot. I should go do that. You can't believe everything it says, but it can give you some good tips.
And she did say to make sure to ask for the proof when
Yeah,
you're
that's what I did.
interacting. Where did you get this? How do
Hmm.
you know that?
Yeah.
It helped me to learn dialogue a lot better, listening to her too. I've kind of struggled with that, and now I don't have as big of a struggle. I think it was learning the personality of who I'm dealing with this AI kind of mentality, is that they are people pleasers to the max. They're not unintelligent though, and so you've got to be very careful when you put you get intelligence and people pleasing together, and you can end up with big problems.
What
So.
I learned from that session on AI was sometimes I'm not asking the question the way it wants to hear it. When I rephrase my question the way it can understand it,
Right.
I got a better answer. That I
And I
read
think
the
that
book
just takes
before we
practice.
went, and I found that very helpful. You can make AI your friend.
Hmm. Your assistant.
Hmm.
Renee, what do you
She
keep
al-
holding in?
she also has the Research Like a Pro with DNA, and it's just very methodical. If you are wondering about DNA, why DNA? I mean, we can use that. So anyway, Elder, she's
She's a
good.
very, very pleasant to listen to, a younger woman. I mean, younger than most of us. You know, uh, when I say energetic, I don't mean spastic, but enough energy to fill that stage for hours, 2 days in a row. You know. and be happy to do it. Now, last year, Amanda, we had some really good breakout or master sessions too. Do you remember? I can't remember their names, but the one that talked about AI last year, you go out and you try to YouTube anything about using AI, and he's going to pop up. He is very big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stephen Little.
Thank you.
And
Excellent.
he so I don't know if they're still available, but Roots Tech, he was at Roots Tech, and I did a lot of the virtual this year.
Hmm.
Uh, he he had a number of sessions, and it was really, really good. Um, but yeah, he was even more than he was last year. You know, I mean, just more informative of how to use it with genealogy and what to watch for and things like that. And hallucinations was one of them. So that, you know, I'm talking about that. But on that same topic, Colleen Knights has done a Zoom presentation along using about AI. And
Oh,
what she did it for our Greenville Genealogy Society meeting. Um, she had taken the same information that she wanted to know, and she used Chat, GPT, she used Gemini, and she used Claude. And so she asked it the same questions, and then she had all three different versions, and she could show us what each one of them came up with.
that's
And
one of the things that this Diane Elder was talking about too, is
yeah,
that you have to play with it and decide. I think, this one's better at
mm-hmm,
pictures, this one's better at narrative, this one's better at,
right. And it was interesting to see how different they were, and how the words and everything was just laid out differently. And yeah, she talked about the fact that Chat GPT um, did try to make up stuff, I guess is a better way of saying it. But somebody, and it wasn't Colleen, somebody had been using Claude to do that. And finally, Claude got to the point where Claude said, "You need to have a professional help you. I can't help you anymore."
interesting.
And that person was like, "That's why I'm asking you." I've reached
I
that
know,
point
but
of, oh my gosh, I
okay,
don't know where else to go.
Amanda, what gets me is if they are people pleasers and they're tapping out, does that mean that Claude doesn't hallucinate as much as some of these others?
Well,
Is what I'm going to.
that's kind of what Colleen feels like, which the
Yeah.
experience that she's had looking for things, she felt like Claude did a better job of saying, "I don't know." Whereas the other ones were like, "Yeah, let's go this way or that way or whatever it was." But you ask her about it. She's got a pamphlet where she had them broken down as to how that she could send around. We're going to do on June 7th another one of our little Zooms where I'm just going to basically talk about for new people how to get into the DAR system and how to find how you want to build an application, that kind of basic stuff.
Awesome.
She's going to do the AI stuff. So I don't know where on earth that's her half of the program.
Are you
So,
guys recording it?
well, we might if we can both figure out how to remember to turn on record.
It's when you just go, if you're using Zoom,
We're
it's
going to
when
be
you
using
set
Zoom.
up the original meeting. It's at the very bottom, show more. It's kind of hidden.
Okay. Well, see, we did that in December and we thought we hit record and apparently we did not. Or we hit record and turned it off. I don't know what.
Well, when I set up a meeting, they're always set up to record, so I don't have to hit anything. It just automatically records. Why it takes me so long to load the meetings up to the YouTube channel is sometimes all that chitter chatter at the beginning of each of our sessions, you don't need the whole world to know. I mean,
Right,
it's not.
right.
It's needed for us because that's what builds the community, but people don't need to sit there and go, I don't want to hear this stuff. There's a bunch of women just talking about the weather. Okay.
Susan, the other thing that Diana shared with us was sometimes what you can do is the timeline. If you start when this person was born and they were born in Virginia and now you can't find them anymore, well, maybe they moved to Kentucky. So if you make a timeline, where were they well, maybe they ended up in Texas, but where were they before between Virginia and
Right.
Texas? And then you find, well, they stopped in this area that became a state in this area and this area. And then you can, with that timeline, you can figure out where the kids were born. Well, this kid was born here, this kid was born there. Next thing you know, you've got the timeline figured out, and that can help you fill in the blanks that you couldn't have figured out. Well, where were they when they actually got married? Well, they were 3 states back, because look when the babies were born. That
is,
was interesting.
Nancy, that was part of that boring day you were talking about.
What?
That was day one when she was talking about migrations and timelines that you said.
No, I thought that was interesting though.
Or
That
was it
was.
the AI that you didn't?
Yeah, that was kind
Oh.
of was like, I wish I'd had time to read the book before I went, but I didn't.
I don't know. That she followed the book.
Oh, okay.
The book is just a very basic research like a pro is what it's called. And it talks about putting together a research plan and, you know, research questions, well-written research questions. It breaks it down and um, she does separate thoughts very nicely and keeps it very clean. But her presentations about migration, uh, trails and timelines or AI really had nothing to do with this book,
Oh, okay.
which is kind of nice. We got a good discount, by the way. That was another boon for us going to the GRI, is that this is an amazing book that she's written on how to research like a pro. And we got like 33% off if we used her code that she gave us during the pre-meeting Zooms. Another little thing that happened to me, happenstance, um, we started this meeting and I said I was very excited about Marcy Carter Lovick or Lovick Carter Lovick, who used to be the chairman of the GRI Planning Committee. Now she is our Registrar General. And I was getting in the food line. I was a little bit late and happened to be right behind her because she came late too. And she had just shared in the opening sessions a lot of what. Have any of you been out on the door and the dock, I'm sorry, and you see where it had this many percentage of AIRs and we had this many percentage of pre-letters on
Yeah.
supplementals and applications, all that. She shares that every week. And so she kind of gave us a pep talk that morning that I talked to her in line. And I said, it breaks my heart that the numbers aren't a little bit more where we would like them to be. But the GEPs are so outdated, those courses. How do we get our
Mm-hmm.
girls some better training? And she's like,
Yep.
it's not going to happen for a while.
You're preaching to the choir.
Well, so what she told me, and I did not know this, right now they are in such a push to close down that long lag between applications and supplemental applications
Yeah.
being submitted and being reviewed. And she's pushing that. I honestly, and I asked her, are you kidding me? The GEP courses are created by those same genies. So she has to take them off of the task of verifying applications in order to create GEP courses. She goes, which one do you want done first?
And the supplemental approvals are at October 15th of 2024. So they have zoomed in the last 6 months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
they
is
have.
pushing. And she said, what I recommend is that you tell everybody to read the genealogical guidelines. And I'm like, okay, we're going to start doing that together. So starting in June, I want you guys to give me some input too, because a lot of you guys are faces that come often and that you're important, very important to this group being a success. I would like to I'm thinking one meeting a month that we just focus on literally reading the genealogical guidelines together and talking about every step along the way. What do you guys think about that?
I like it.
Do you, Barbara?
That was something I had already thought about, that with my chapter, that I was going to start sending out something monthly, progressing through the guidelines to them.
I know they're really not that hard if we just go through them, but I know when I was offered the job of the Volunteer Genealogists Committee, chair, grabbed my binders because at that time I was printing them out, and I lived on the patio until I got those things read. And I'm like, why did it take this, Susan? Why didn't you read these before? You think of it as a reference book, but you've never actually sat down and read them. I learned so much in those 3 or 4 days that I lived just reading the genealogical guidelines. And it was fun. They're not badly written. Um, Marcy did say that they're looking at having them rewritten to where they're easier to read. And I'm like, I don't think they're that difficult.
Have
Do
they
you?
made have they made any upgrades to them? Do they go online and upgrade them compared to the GEP courses?
Oh yeah.
Well, wait a minute. You're asking two different things there. Have they? They're not going to
Yeah,
upgrade the GEP
guide-
courses.
the guidelines
If they update the
on
guidelines,
national. hmm I
then
printed them out. I've got them printed.
no. And they're saying that you shouldn't, but I
So
still do. Yeah. Because sometimes I like to just touch them. You
do
know,
they do updates to them?
they do, and they let us know when. I think the last time was like,
Hold on, I'm looking to see when the last
okay,
one was updated. Taking me a minute.
if it was 2026, there
Yeah.
might be things I need to.
All right, let's see. Part one.
Yeah.
Part two was updated January 2025. Part three was June of 2024. I think that the other one was last August.
The big changes that came out, the two reviewers, the blue signatures, all that
Yeah.
was January of 2025. So they captured.
Yeah. January 2025.
That's
what
in part two.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at this is that we will start with two genealogical guidelines two. We'll
Yeah.
work through that, then we'll go through three and then do one. Because really what we need to know in order to do applications, most of the nuts and bolts is in the genealogical guidelines too. The proving the service is in the three. And really, it's not going to take that long to go through the genealogical guidelines three because a lot of it's just uh, listies, like pages of places that if you've got an ancestor that lived in New Hampshire or, you know,
Part
Louisiana.
one and two were both updated January of 2025
Okay.
based on their copyright.
And I use it mostly to make sure I'm citing it correctly on the citation page.
Yeah. And that's good. Good to know.
Mhm.
So what day would work better for you guys? The Saturday at 9 a.m. or the Tuesday at 2 p.m. for us to go
The
through the guidelines?
Tuesday afternoon.
Okay. Anybody else have an opinion?
Yeah, fine.
Tuesdays are better for me also.
Okay. That's very good to know, you guys. Thank you.
Regarding that, the guidelines, do y'all do have the copy of the Word document that's sort of a cheat sheet to tell you where in the part two to find certain ways to cite things, right?
That
If you
citation.
don't, speak up because I send it out a lot. Amanda, it's an amazing.
I don't
It
know
is.
what to get with it.
So there's a Word document
Yeah.
that basically just has if you're working with a census record, here's a few examples, and then you can find what you need on page blah 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 in part two.
I got it.
So it's just a real good handy little cheat sheet.
Mine says it's Facebook Jennifer Dorn. It's where I printed it off of.
I don't think I have
Yeah,
that.
well, I think we do have it on the Volunteer Genealogists
It is
Facebook
on the
page.
volunteer genealogy page.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Barbara.
What pages is on? I got it.
It's the
Meg, do you want
it's
a
called the
copy?
citation worksheet.
Citation.
Do you want one, Meg?
Yes, I'd like what you're talking about.
It kind of looks like this, if you can see.
It's kind of
Yeah.
blurry. It looks like a piece of paper.
Bird.
Yeah.
Bird.
Reference guide, guidelines part two.
And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I do not put together an application without having that thing open. It
Me
is
neither.
Yeah, I've been I go through it with that.
I laugh at myself. I'm like, by now you really should know this, but I don't know that I trust myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember stuff like that.
I can't either.
Jennifer, do we have any chats going on that?
We do not. The only chat was me trying to spell the mailer. I was trying to help everybody because I was thinking, how does she spell that?
No, that was good. Yeah. Wow, we rushed through a lot of this fairly quickly.
And the only question I have is about the family tree maker class. Does anybody have a contact person in your documents? You said
No.
that they would come to a meeting.
I will look and see if I can find something. And if I do, I'll send it to you.
I think that a group, I mean, if some of us got together, that would make it very beneficial for our members. I have Family Tree Maker. I've used it for years.
I don't know where I
Possibly
put
do
it.
that as far as
I'll look for it.
Jennifer, you say we could possibly do that as far as a volunteer genealogy Zoom call?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it would be cool to do a Zoom
Mm-hmm.
to go over it. What do y'all think, ladies?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
It would have to be a 9 a.m. one though, because we're going to be doing the genealogy guidelines on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock. But if he would allow us to record, and I bet he would, I mean, that's something that should be fairly easy to throw up on the YouTube channel and everybody could have it to reference, you know. Good idea. What else did I ask you to write down?
Did somebody have the schedule from the session that we went to, GRS? It would be in there.
Oh, was it?
I didn't have it. I don't think there's anything on the one I printed.
No? Because
Mm-mm.
I went to the session. How else would I know to go to
I
the
don't know
session?
where that session was. When Susan mentioned it, I was like, oh, wasn't on my schedule.
They gave out a late copy of the final schedule. And I think that's
So,
the first time I saw it show. But then they said that they removed the FOIA
Oh, here it is.
account.
Mark Olson.
yeah, that's the contact. I don't have that anymore. I threw it away. So you have it.
Mark Goldson.
No, Olson. Olsen.
Okay. You know what I could do is just go out and ask on the GRI doc.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
I just put it on
Thank
so y'all
you.
could copy.
If you're going to Continental Congress, Marcy also said that they're trying to get together a genealogy workshop going on Tuesday before the Continental Congress opens really big on Wednesday.
Are you gonna go, Pam?
Yes.
Cool. That would be very
Me
nice.
too.
Are you? You guys are gonna have to take wonderful notes about.
You're not going?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I tried going to both one year and it was just too much. It's like one or the other. They're
yeah,
too
you're
close
right.
together, you know.
And then Susan, aren't you all doing one Thursday before Fall Forum?
Well, so the notification has been sent out, and I have reached out to the person that's supposed to be coordinating this, and I've heard nothing.
Okay, well,
And I know I think
I
you've
want to
heard
go a day
things.
early if that's the case.
Well,
Alice visited our chapter a week ago and she brought it up, so she thinks it's going to happen.
I'm getting a little nervous. I mean, if we need to do this, that's fine. But I've been told somebody else is in charge, and I've called them and they're not returning my call. So, and
Oops.
Pam, you say that you want to attend, honey, we need to be the ones that are putting this on. You know, I've already got Jennifer writing texts, textbooks. She's starting to put together ideas for classes. And what it's all about, you guys, is we need to make it baby steps. You got a birth certificate, now what?
Yeah.
And we get some of the most interesting calls that feed us as far as what some of these registrars are looking for. Do you want to share anything, Jennifer? Some ideas that you've seen from questions that we've had?
I haven't really, I've touched base with them, but I haven't started. We're supposed to do Zoom calls, and I thought I'd email them both tonight, the two that they're new registrars. They're taking over. They've had issues, and so we'll see after that. But I did talk to one of them, and I told her she's my guinea pig for this workshop I'm developing to go through. I'm the new registrar now. What do I do? You know what I'm saying? Other than they were elected, most of them have maybe a GEP 1, 2. But that's not all it takes. As y'all know, it takes a lot more than just those GEP courses because they're so outdated.
Yeah. So today I have to go in periodically and update where we're at because we've already got the contest going, about which applications have been sent in and where we at with pre-letters and all that. And we've got 3 chapters without registrars, and that just makes my stomach flip.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, so some kind soul says, I like my chapter, I want to see it well, so I'll take the position. There's no one there to train them, and I'm seeing a lot of this is going on. And we've got registrars that they're just willing, and that's the best they've got. They don't even know what e-membership is.
Susan,
Yeah, Meg.
why can't people who are not registrars take the registrars course so they could become registrars? I
They
don't
don't
understand.
let you take it until you are actually one. I've asked.
I know, but
That's right.
I think it's stupid.
I
You're
do
the only
too.
I do
one.
too.
Yeah.
Can't we vote
And
on
it's on the
that?
dock a lot.
Well,
It is.
I just don't understand that.
I wish they'd open it up for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I
don't know
think
why
when
they
they
don't
used
charge
to-
the $75 like they do for all the others.
Well,
Yeah,
because
They
it's
just
a
let you take
bonus.
it.
I'd take it.
I mean, if you want to take it, pay the $75. What's
Oh,
the
I do.
difference?
Well, the
Yeah.
supplementals one, number 8, is very close to the registrar's one.
Yeah.
Because the registrar's one doesn't show them anything about the e-membership or any of the prospective member database or anything like that. Some of these new girls fresh out are inheriting 40 or 50 or 60 people in the
I
prospective
know.
Yeah.
database.
Yeah. So I've just started the supplementals. It's the only one I haven't done. And I thought, okay, I need to do it. I'm ready to start lesson 3 on it. It's been interesting, but yeah,
It
you're
is.
right. They're really specific on there about stuff. Better than any of the things that I've took in years past, GEP
Right.
1 or 2 or
Well, it's the most current or it's the most recent one developed.
yeah.
So it's going to be closer to standards than any of the because GEP 1, 2, and 3 in the form they are at right now have been around for 15 years or so.
Oh
yeah. Sorry.
Mhm.
I'm working on a supplemental for someone who was a prior registrar about a decade or so ago. And I'm having to do a lot of editing as far as how the citation should be written.
Sure.
And the comments were, well, that's how I did the others. Well, yeah, well,
Yeah.
that was 10 years ago.
Right.
And it isn't now.
And that's the way our training is, Amanda.
Yeah.
The 10 to 15. Well, I've been a member for over 13 years, and they were already there when I got there, those GEP courses. So GEP 8 just came out, what, 3 years ago?
Susan, I was registrar I think I started in 2009, maybe 2010, and then I had to drop out. And then when I came back in 2 years ago as registrar, immediately, I had a lot to relearn. So I took
You
all
did. I remember.
yeah, I took all
I
the
remember
courses.
you going, GEP what?
GEP, what? I never heard of such a thing. But the e-app, I'm wondering because they have not finished the e-app yet online, and you had the e-app course.
Yeah.
I wonder how much is going to change on that, Renee.
Right.
A lot of, it will.
Yeah.
I would
It's
need to
gonna be
go back and
totally
take
different.
it again.
Well, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be the same thing.
No, it's going to be.
They'll
different.
have to redo it if they make changes in the e-app.
One of the things that Marcy was been talking about that they're excited is they're so far along in the advancement of it that they've got tools where you can actually manipulate the supporting documents on your cell phone, as far as even red underlines and cropping it.
But let me
And
just say this, the older you get, the harder it is to do that on a cell phone.
To learn.
Exactly.
Sorry, y'all. I'm
no,
That's
just,
really true.
I mean,
I've got a granddaughter that wrote a paper on her phone.
but
I'm
how
like,
many
"Dude,
registrars are in their 20s and 30s?
they're
Very
wanting
few
that.
of us.
Not this 76-year-old.
Yeah, but I'm just making that's my 2 cents.
You know,
She's being unrealistic.
my thought is if they really want me to do e-app, then they need to bear in mind that I took that course a number of years ago and they just need to let me take it again at no cost.
At no cost. I agree.
Oh yeah.
Well, but what Marcy
They
said
won't.
is that I don't know where that training's going to come from. I would hope that they'd have to have some sort of training, but maybe it's going to be free. But it's just going to be like videos that we can watch.
Don't hold your breath that it's free.
It won't be.
Mm. Then we have to get more stoles and cords. All right, guys. Hate to wrap this up, but do you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns? Right. It's so good to see each of you. I felt bad having to cancel the first meeting this month, but I'm glad I did. It would have been really interesting in the airport where I got to see, what do they call it? An honor flight.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
honor flight. Oh wow.
I
Oh,
was just, oh, I almost want to tear up just even thinking about it at the
Yeah.
Reagan airport. I'm like, well, how many points can you throw together here? I mean, it was awesome. And we actually had because they let me join their little group welcoming these guys. I loved it.
oh,
And
Oh, cool.
we had several World War II veterans. Now they had to be mobile. They were, it was
wow.
so cool. Very cool. A lot of
Amazing.
Vietnam, you know, and so
Hmm.
anyway,
That's
I'm
really
glad I was there instead of trying to Zoom with you guys.
Something that I overheard about the GRI next year
Yeah.
is since the library is going to be closed, then they're thinking of other options. Like I kind of figure that we might go to the Library of Congress or the National
Ooh.
Archives.
Ooh.
Now that's
Oh,
just what I think, but that's kind
Oh,
of the what
yeah.
I got.
ooh,
Yeah,
that
because
could
they're
be
not,
really cool. If you've never
yeah,
been to either one of those places, you'd get a insight of how
Oh
they
yeah.
right.
work there.
Because
That
the other
might.
thing, the only thing I did hear is that they're hoping to be done by the time of the GRI. But
Oh,
if
yeah,
anybody's gotten into doing a remodeling job, come on, that's just
it
not
does
the
never
healthy way to
happen.
plan. Yeah. That's very cool, Pam.
Well, 2 years ago, when I went to the GRI, that was one of the things we did. We went to the Library of Congress and had a tour and got a Library of Congress card. But of course, at that time, I was kind of scared to go there and research on my own.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I just thought I lost my purse here about a week ago. I'm like, I was in there. Oh, my Library of Congress card. That's like, not my driver's license or my credit cards or any of that stuff. It's like, how would I replace that?
Mhm.
I actually left the house without taking it with me. So I'm glad it was safe. All right, guys.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
It's so good
Susan.
meeting
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
See
Susan. Thank you,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.